Hi, I'm Max Kast. I am the Director of Education for Broadbent Selections. We're an importer based out of Richmond, Virginia. I've been with them for about 5 years. Previous to that, I was the wine director at the Farrington House for about 10 years. So I've been in North Carolina for about 15 years, actually. I love the States. I'm super excited about what's happening in North Carolina wine right now. Yeah, I've had a great time judging the competition, and I look forward to judging again next year. I see a lot of exciting things happening. It's one of those things when I moved here, my attention, and I'll be completely honest, was not on North Carolina wines and what was happening in North Carolina. And that was a big fault of my own. But as I've grown as a professional, my interest is really in wine all over the world, and particularly in our neighborhood. And what I've noticed through time is that the wines have gotten much better, more interesting. People are experimenting with a lot of different grape varieties, which really makes sense given our climate, because we're subtropical, right? So we have varying different climates within there based off of elevation and all of that. People, it's the energy and the excitement is really, really exciting right now. I think that's what the state needs. It's about the area. It's about North Carolina as a grape growing and winemaking state. And the more that we focus on that, the better it is for everyone involved across the board. The quality of the rosés across the board was really high this year, I felt. And it was really, really nice to see that. I was really impressed with the Viogniers, with Petit Manseng, and I was really impressed with Petit Verdot as well. I think Petit Verdot does really, really well in this state from tasting all the examples that we had. And I also think that Chambourcin, I'm really impressed with the Chambourcin examples that we had here. And also, sorry, I keep on going on and on. And there was a number, I believe there were a few Tannats, and I know some of those really stuck out as well. Yeah, I'm thinking back to the tasting Cabernet Franc as well. There's some really nice Cabernet Franc. I also forgot Albarino does really, I was really impressed with Albarino from here too. Another category that's super impressive in North Carolina, and that's Traminette. I think Traminette, like as far as aromatic grape varieties in our climate, that's where it's at. Like that's really, for someone who loves, I love like Alsatian Muscat. And like for even people who like Torrontés, that could be kind of like the perfect crisp aromatic summer white of North Carolina. Hybrids definitely, going just in the Traminette example, have their place. We're still young in the world of creating hybrids, right? I mean, if you look, that it's really, wine's been made for 8,000 years, and there's about 120 plus years of hybrids. So that in and of itself, the possibilities are still there. It's a matter of getting people to know what they are. And a lot of these hybrids have parent grapes where people are not going to know what they are. So we're going to have to tell people, not by comparison to other, by comparison to other grapes, and also flavor profile. But I think there's definitely a place for hybrids. That's one of those things where I'm always really hesitant to do that, because I mean my background is in which is why you guys have me come, is in wine tasting, right? I've like honed my skills over close to 20 years in becoming an adept taster. And the main, and this would be actually my advice. Everyone there is putting their heart and soul into what they do. Everyone should be super proud of what they're doing. Particularly, I mean, having a winery in North Carolina, trying to make a name for the state, that's brave, and I applaud everyone who's doing it. As far as I know, it's a really hard region to make wine. That you have tons of obstacles. And I know that not only do you have the obstacles, but you also have people's perceptions of what North Carolina wine could be. So that's one more obstacle on there. So again, I applaud everyone. The one thing that I would say is to taste tons of wines from around the world and have tasting groups with other winemakers, maybe restaurant folks, sommeliers, things like that, and continually blind taste on your own wines from around the world of examples that not examples you want to duplicate, but people working with the same grape varieties that you do. And then kind of have conversations about that. Be like, oh, hey, how do they do that? What can we do given the nature of our region and those obstacles that I mentioned that we can, again, not replicate those wines, but we can be on par. We're like at some point, it's like our wines will be on par with these wines, which are the greatest examples of these grapes in the world. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting seeing what's going on here. It's really, really exciting, and the quality keeps on improving from when I first started and first moved here up until now. It's incredibly impressive.